What's going on, pre-Chiro students? It's Dr. Ben again with another interesting conversation for you to help you explore the pathway to becoming a chiropractor by connecting with practicing chiropractors who have gone down this path and have some insights to share. So today we have Dr. Debra Bell. Thank you so much for taking your time to share your insights. Can you just get us started by introducing yourself and letting us know a little bit about your background and what you were up to before chiropractic school and what attracted you to becoming a chiropractor?
Sure, sure. Thanks for having me this morning. It's great to chat with you. As Dr. Glass said, I am Dr. Debra Bell, and I have been practicing chiropractic in Cary, North Carolina for almost 22 years. It'll be 22 years in about 2 weeks. So I found chiropractic through my gymnastics background. I was a competitive gymnast for a very, very long time, and at the ripe old age of 16, had a back injury. And like a lot of people, went through 6 months of what we call the medical merry-go-round, where no one could figure out what was going on with me and why I could not continue my gymnastics. Until my father said, well, we've tried everything else, let's try chiropractic. 3 weeks later, I was feeling better than I had in 6 months, and I still do gymnastics to this day thanks to chiropractic. So being a very impressionable 16-year-old child, I decided that I wanted to be that person for other people. So have the answers, help people live the lives that they want to live, do the things that they love to do, and keep their bodies working well to do so. So that's exactly how I found chiropractic, and I guess a short version of my story. So
Can you reflect on what that transition process was like, you being a gymnast and entering into a chiropractic training program, how being a gymnast helped you develop your skill set, not only adjusting, but also just having dedication, discipline to studying something?
absolutely, like you said, the dedication and the discipline. So my background in training for gymnastics at a young age, I was training 16 to 20 hours a week. So doing that while I was, going through traditional school. I did not homeschool. My parents didn't take me out of school. I trained afternoons, and it really taught me how to manage my time well. And as you know, going through chiropractic school is a lot of studying, but allowed me to really prioritize and have the drive and motivation to continue working towards really what I wanted to do for others. So knowing that I could do a lot and put a lot on my plate, and really work through, I also coached gymnastics while I was in school, so that I could help put myself through school, and really making sure that I had my vision, right? So my vision of what I wanted to do really helped through that. The ultimate goal was to get out and help other people, and allow people to do the things that they love doing, which is it's so important to me, because that's what chiropractic did for me.
Hmm. Hmm. So can we just explore what the last 22 years has been like in practice? Can you reflect on the challenges that maybe you faced, and also just the rewarding nature of being a chiropractor in service to others, and sort of how you get to be creative in your practice and express yourself in alignment with knowing who you are?
Absolutely. 22 years seems like a long time, but when I look back, it seems so short as well. It's that weird phenomenon that it seems like only yesterday that I started out as an associate doctor for a few years with another chiropractor so that I could learn the ropes. I went to Life University, and I had an amazing education there, and they taught us how to be very good chiropractors. Um, and I didn't have a lot of business background. I literally went straight from high school to undergrad, tailored my undergrad to chiropractic, straight through chiropractic school. So I like to say that I've never had a real job in my life. So I didn't know how business ran. So I worked for another chiropractor for several years. Then he retired, and I bought the practice from him. Since then, the practice has more than tripled in size. I've hired and helped some other chiropractors They associated with me, many for several years. One I had for 7 years, one for 4 years, and then they started practices on their own. I still have an associate that has been with me for 10 years. And we work really well together. He's also another life grad. So helping other chiropractors then learn how to become chiropractors, create the business, and then create their own practices as well. So it's changed into, of course, starting when you're, the first several years out, learning not only how to be a chiropractor in the real world, but how to do business. And then now for the past several years, helping others, then mentoring them into how to create a business and how to be a chiropractor in the real world, and how to translate their education into a successful chiropractic practice.
Absolutely. That's a great service to new graduates. Can you talk about the associateship experience, what you see, when you get a new student coming out of school, ready versus not ready? Like, what are some of the differences in between them? And are there some common threads where no matter how ready a student is, they're gonna be challenged, they're gonna slip, and you have to check them as they're slipping to kind of give them that confidence, or what are the sort of expressions that you're seeing out of our new graduates that you've been able to help?
Yeah, it's a great question, because it's actually changed a little bit with the newer graduates that I've been seeing coming out. The schools, how do I say this? There are some that are afraid to take care of patients the way that we were taught to take care of patients maybe 25 years ago when we were coming out. So I've seen a little bit of fear in them. There's been a big fear instilled in them from the education standpoint and what they can and cannot take care of. So helping them work through how you actually take care of patients with certain conditions and with certain maybe contraindications that in school they're really hesitant to teach them how to care for those effectively. I will say that, again, business wise, across the board, because they teach us how to be great chiropractors, they don't teach business. You have to go to business school for that. So teaching them how to do the business side of chiropractic. And then one other piece is really understanding how much work goes into creating a thriving practice, right? So how to create really what you want, and there is a lot of work that's associated with that. I see that some kids are coming out, or some of the younger chiropractors are coming out without understanding that piece of it, and I'm not sure where they're missing that. But I will say that those who are much more prepared are the ones who have visited other chiropractic offices, who have done their, I'm going to go visit, I'm going to go check out multiple people's practices, I'm going to see how they work their offices, and then try to create a vision of how they want to run their office. Those who have visited other offices, even if it's just for an afternoon to see how they run, are way more prepared and find their success much more quickly. So the biggest piece of advice I would have for students going into chiropractic school is visit lots of chiropractors, lots of different kind of chiropractors, lots of people who practice the way you think you want to practice, lots of people who don't practice the way you think you want to practice, because everybody has something to offer that you could learn from them. And sometimes learning what you don't want is as important as learning what you do want. So on those downtimes, on those break times, even before you go into school, really going to visit lots of different chiropractic practices, because there are a lot of different ways to do what we do, and what works for one might not work for another, and then you can create your own vision. That would be my biggest the biggest indicator of how successful some of those associates have been. And I've done some work down at Life University with some of their students and some of their pre-chiropractic students, and across the board, those who visit and really get out there are the more successful ones when they're out of school.
Can you talk specifically maybe about the business, but also just about what you mean when you say really working hard to create the type of vision, just creating maybe some structure around the different skill sets or the different areas of interest that you need to spend time on? Because I think that having more clarity around what you need to spend time on and how you might need to spend time on it is really helpful, because we get exposed to a lot as chiropractic students, but like you said, the emphasis is not necessarily on what's important, which might be the entrepreneurial skills, or might be the communication skills, or maybe even just the art of working with somebody like you saying who has been labeled with something that all of a sudden a new chiropractic graduate is thinking 10 different things because they've learned all these little details about this one condition, and they're not really seeing the person on their table. So can you maybe just touch on how you encourage students to begin training and spending their time?
Wow, that's a big one, isn't it? There's a lot in that, and I would say once a student has really visited lots of offices and found a style that they like, or a practice that they really attach with, find a mentor that you can ask questions to, find someone that you can reach out to, or mastermind groups that on a regular basis meet so that you can ask those questions. I think the hardest part is things have changed, right? So what worked for me 20 years ago, networking is very, very different nowadays. So social media wasn't a thing when I came out. Boy, we had email and we had the internet, but your web page didn't have to be dynamic. It just had to have your address, right? So finding those newer ways with someone who has, again, who's done it the way you want to do it. So what works for me on in a face-to-face might not work for someone who's newer coming out, who has maybe a really good social media presence, right? I'm definitely fall into the category of not being as good or savvy, since I have been practicing for a little while longer. But the strategies, because they are different, mean that you have to be open to those kinds of changes, and find the people that are doing what you want to do. So that you can follow them, or have them mentor you, or create your own. So I don't know that I have like a kind of a set package that I would say, oh, go do this, go do this, go do this, because it changes all the time, and what works for one may not work for another. So I think, again, back to that biggest advice is find others who are doing what you think you want to do and learn from them, and then you can morph. My practice, what I thought it was going to look like, is nothing what it looks like today. And I am absolutely thrilled with what it looks like today, but wouldn't have envisioned it until I got into it. So I don't really have one big piece of advice I could put out there and say,
It's a great segue. It's a great segue. Can you just describe and give us some details and insight into your practice and what it's become today, and how it's branded, how you message, you know, what your message is to people when they come into the office, or maybe what your intention is for the relationship that you hope to build with people over time?
Absolutely. Our practice is called Whole Family Chiropractic, and we really truly mean that. We have, to give you a little snapshot, even this evening, I have a 3-generation family that is my last appointment of the day, and it is the entire family. And we take a good 45 minutes to an hour, and I take care of everyone. And I've been taking care of the couple for almost 20 years now, and now their daughter, her mother moved into town. We take care of her, we take care of the brother, like we take care of everyone. And what it feels like is family. It feels like home. It feels that we are fairly relaxed when we are taking care of them. It is a very family friendly family vibe. And what I originally envisioned, being an athlete myself, was that I would take care of athletes. So I started out on this path of, I'm going to be a sports chiropractor. And then as I had my own children, and as my patients were moving into lifestyle care, then it morphed into this family environment. So yes, I take care of athletes, but I take care of athletes within the family. And I have patients that have been with me my full 22 years. We joined the 100-year lifestyle branding about 5, maybe 7 years ago. I have a real poor concept of time. It all mushes together. But and our vision is to help families live 80, 90, 100 years, healthy, happy, vibrant, again, able to do the things that they want to do. So when I take care of a woman who meets her now husband, and now I'm taking care of their 15 and 13-year-old children, it really truly feels like family. So I have staff members that have been with me 8 and 10 plus years. They're like family. So that's the vibe and the feel that we have in the office, and that's what we strive for.
Amazing, amazing, and such a different story, such a different description of how your office, your clinic is functioning compared to, say, a physical therapy or a medical clinic. Such a different message, such a different path, and I really just aim with pre-Chiro students to help clarify for them what that differentiating factor is. So thank you for sharing your vision for people that you work with. Is there any like final message that you would give to a high school or college student? I know you've already given many recommendations, but just anything to help differentiate for them, like why chiropractic and not physical therapy or occupational therapy, or not necessarily why not, but why chiropractic? Why would they be happy with this profession? Or what, when you boil it down, why are you so happy with the path you've chosen? Because obviously being in practice 22 years, it's been very rewarding.
Yeah, I can't imagine doing anything else. And I am a fan of physical therapy. I'm a fan of occupational therapy for, especially when you're talking about injury recovery. But if you really want to be a part of someone's true health care, not sick care, not injury prevention, not injury recovery, but really helping guide them on true health care and finding better health so they can live happier lives, I don't think there's a better choice than chiropractic right now. I think every day I look back and I look at the people whose lives we have touched and the people who really truly understand the mission of chiropractic, living those healthier lifestyles. And when I see a patient that I have seen for 15 years, and we talk about, in fact, yesterday we talked about how through chiropractic, she's been under care for over 15 years, that there are family members that haven't chosen to do chiropractic, and she is always healthier. She hasn't missed a day of work out of illness, and she loves the health path that she's on. So it is a true health path. It is helping people make those healthcare choices rather than waiting for sick care. And it is so rewarding when you have those conversations with patients and then they thank you for helping them create a healthier lifestyle. They take those things back to their family, even if they're not under chiropractic care. But they know that the choices that they're making really give them that path toward better health, keep them out of the sick care. I don't feel like there could be anything more rewarding.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I want to thank you for your time. I know you're in service and practice today. What does your day look like today? What do you have to look forward to in the day?
What do I have to look forward to? Well, excuse me, when I pull up my schedule real quick, we have 91 patients on the schedule today. I will be seeing patients from 9 a.m. until about 7 p.m., probably 7:30 when I really finish. Out of those, I can't even tell you the number of families as I'm looking at them. And I get to finish my day with that lovely generational family that we will laugh, we will joke, everyone will get adjusted, and it will be a really, really fun day in the office. So it's a great day to be on this call because I can really look at the schedule and see the number of people that have really honored me with the ability to care for them and be a part of their life. So that's what I have to look forward to today. It's going to be a great day.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for your energy. I really appreciate being in your presence. Have a great day. Enjoy yourself. Thank you for sharing with the prospective students out there. And we'll be sure to connect them with you if they listen to this and want to get connected to you. We'll post some links to reach out.
Absolutely. We love working with students in our office. They bring such a fun energy and are so curious and inquisitive in here. We love working with students in the office. It's that's a great match. So.
Mm-hmm.